Welcome to video 16 in a series of introductory videos for InventorCAM. This video's topic is face turning. So the facing operation in the turning module is pretty simple compared to the other turning operations, but they all work under the same way. There's the same workflow. So let's take a look at how that's done. I'm just going to go to Add Turning Operation, Face. So the workflow is similar to pretty much all the toolpaths in InventorCAM, but specifically the turning toolpaths, they all follow the same sort of workflow. You start by choosing your geometry, and in turning toolpaths, you have the option of using either wireframe selection or solid. Solid is similar to what you probably would have seen on the milling side, where you choose a solid face, and it'll actually generate a toolpath off of that. But wireframe is what we've generated back in video 15, where we saw that we get a target profile and a stock profile. And that's what those two items are there. We're going to use those in our geometry selection. Likewise, there's a representation of my fixture also created back in video 15. So if we take a look at this, we have the blue line representing our stock. That's our updated stock. And our black line here representing the target profile. So we just need to select from that profile what it is we want to use in terms of geometry. If we're going to face, I just need to choose the line that represents the face. Now that line alone doesn't represent the entire face of the stock. But that's okay, because all we're trying to collect here is just the Z coordinate of the face, how far into the part we want to face it. So I'm just going to click the green check mark to accept that, click the green check mark to accept the geometry, and I'm going to go to Modify Geometry, and I'm just going to use some of the selections here to modify it. So I'm going to do an auto extend to the start of the stock. So in the direction of that line, it'll extend it to the start of the stock there. Auto extend to the end of the stock, because we do have an ID on this final part, so we need to finish that face as well. So just auto extends, or the extensions, there's many options in there to extend that geometry. So now that we have a line that represents the entire face, let's go to Tool. Tool selection and definition was covered in video 2, so you can review that to see how I created this file, created this part. And coming to this window, I brought in the tool definition, but I need to actually set it up correctly. If I click on this icon here, I can see that it follows my mouse, and it's not mounted correctly. It's not actually mounted like that on my machine. So I'm just going to go over here and click on this icon, and that's how it's mounted on my machine, right there. Based off my tool definition for right hand, left hand, you can see the insert, and it should be coming from the X direction. So this icon here just lets me set that up. If we go to levels, there is no upper level or lower level like you would see on the milling side. Here, all we have is the safety distance. This is just the distance away from the updated stock or the target that the tool will move before it does any kind of rapid movements or any kind of internal movements. It's the technology section where you're going to see the main parameters of this toolpath. In this case, we're doing facing. So I have the option of doing either front facing or rear facing. Rear facing could be if the part was being held by the sub spindle. The working area is defined by the stock. So my stock definition or the updated stock at this point is going to tell InventorCAM what material needs to be removed. And that's why, like I mentioned in video 15, we needed to have that 50 thou on the front there. It needs to see that material to be removed. But specifically in facing, if we're just maybe doing just the final finishing of that face and there's no material left there in the stock definition, I can go to Extend Target By and then put in a little bit of a clear offset there. I can define my direction of cut as a one-way or zigzag, again, depending on my insert. I could choose one or the other. I'm adding a roughing pass on this. Roughing, I can tell it to either do smooth or stairs. Doesn't really apply too much for facing. We'll see that more when we get into the turning operation in video 17. Each pass will take about 40 thou of a cut. That's a roughing pass. I'm going to leave 8 thou in the Z direction. If I want to do a final finishing pass, I just check this box, and I can even add compensation if I like. In the link section, we control how it approaches the part before it begins the toolpath. So the approach point and the retract point are in this menu here. By default, it does the right safety corner, but I could choose any one of these options here. So if I'm trying to trim my cycle time, maybe I want to do from previous, and want any of the options from previous. If I want to approach from a particular direction first, I have all of these options here. Lead in, lead out, the options are there as well, but because of that safety distance, we're already starting off the part and feeding our way in anyway. So it's up to you to use the lead in, lead out if you like, but generally it's not even really required. I'll do a save and calculate. And if we take a look at that toolpath in the side view, we'll see that because I had that 50 thou, we've done a couple of passes, and then we did that one final finishing pass right there. So that's basically it for the face mill operation. It is literally just a movement in the x-axis to just remove any kind of face material. Any questions on this or anything else from InventorCAM, just give us a call at 1-866-975-1115, extension 2. You can send us your parts or your questions via the ticket system at solidcamsupport.com. And stay tuned for the rest of the videos in this intro series. Thanks for watching.